Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 617. I'm Brian Cohen from Best Page Forward, joined by paranormal cozy mystery superstar Trixie Silvertale. Trixie, glad to have you back on the show. It's been a few years, and we live in a weird time. There's lots of stuff happening in the world, but
Yeah.
we continue to put out books. We continue to expand the universe. I mean, you already had probably 24 books in your universe when you were on the show, and now you've just continued to expand. Like,
Yeah.
what does it feel like to just, like, probably at the beginning there was some fear of, oh, might get bored, but like you've found ways. Like, what has that been like for you?
Well, I think reader response as an author, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not writing books for myself.
Right.
So the reader response definitely fuels the creativity.
Yeah.
If you're publishing books and they're well received and they're selling well and people are asking for more, then it makes sense to write more. That feels
Yeah.
like a good place to be. Um, so I think, that has a lot to do with it, just how the books are doing out there in the reader universe. And as long as I'm interested in a character or a storyline or a setting, that gives me the incentive to keep going. And if that interest wanes or whatever, then it's time to start something new.
Do you feel like, I feel like some authors maybe have this thing, like, I need to be so 100% invested. I need to be invested in every single aspect of this book. And if I'm not invested in every single aspect of this book, it's time to move on. It's time to drop it. And I understand there are personality types, there are strengths that are like, they need novelty, they need
Yeah.
like that drive. But I like kind of what you said about being invested in like one thing. Like,
Yeah.
how do you hold those two things in, where you might be like, well, I've written this kind of storyline 6 times,
Yeah.
but I like this setting or I like this character. Like, how do you hold those two ideas in mind at the same time?
Well, I think it goes back to having something that's holding your interest, but also for me, I've never fictionally murdered
Mm,
the same way twice.
right.
So I that is what interests me. I got to come up with something different, something new, something unique that I want to tell a story about. And yeah, it's going to be part of the series, and so that's going to be in this world, and those characters are going to be, the recurring characters. But I get to decide what happens with
Yeah.
those characters and with their storyline and with their series arc. So it's not just, oh, we're writing about Dick and Jane again. Here they go. They're going to chase Spot, until the end of the book. That I couldn't stand that. I wouldn't be able to write more than one book that was,
Right.
that I was that detached from. So I think having some investment in finding what is the creative outlet for me, what is the unique approach for me, keeps it interesting from my side, and then reader feedback is fueling it from the other side.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, to have that loop of just like, I'm excited about this one angle. I know I'm never going to tell the exact same story twice.
Yeah.
Some tropes probably are somewhat repetitive,
Yeah.
but, you know, knowing that the readers are going to love it, I'll get 5-star reviews on this thing. The beta readers, the ARC team, like,
Yeah.
as long as I have that and I fuel from that, I can keep going.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. That's good. That's good. Great stuff here, Trixie. I'm writing it down.
Woo.
I'm writing
All
it
right.
down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 5 points. Gryffindor. So,
That's sweet.
yeah, we're doing this. We're gonna get that. So we got a lot of fun stuff for today. I'm excited. If you are a paranormal cozy reader, go to trixiesilvertail.com. Go buy all of her books.
Do it.
Read all of them. Kindle Unlimited. Get the box sets. All the things.
Yeah. Yeah. You
All the
can. You can
things.
do all those things.
Yeah, it's allowed.
Audiobooks, everything. You can do it
there's
all.
permission. There's permission. Do it all. We had a previous week's question that I'll ask you too here, Trixie, but
Okay.
it was, what's one action you can take in the next month to help grow your marketing presence? Patrick O'Connor said, do a reading from one of my sci-fi novels on February 6th at Capricorn 46 in Schaumburg. Bring a few author copies for discount sale. Bethany Tucker said, starting this month, I've gone back to blogging for the first time in a decade. It feels really natural and I'm enjoying it. It's on my author website and I'm keeping it reader targeted and personal, more on the doubling down as human avenue, which I think makes a ton of sense in this digitized world.
Yes.
Trixie,
Yes.
what about you? I mean, you already do so much in your marketing. You've already, one of the things I've always liked about you, I remember the things you say for what it's worth. One of the things that you talked about in the good things, the bad things, I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
Because we've known each other for a long time. But when you spoke at my digital self-publishing live event on Writing to Market back in like 2022 or 2023, you had talked about your launch checklist and said, well, I X out the things that don't work and I put in new things and then I keep iterating and iterating. So of the many things that you've done that you've let go and new things to try, do you feel like there's anything coming up where you are going to try to tweak or focus in on to grow your marketing presence?
Well, one thing, now that I have such a large backlist, now I've moved into a consistent promotional schedule. So when I only had 5 or 10 books, I was like, well, maybe I can run a 99-cent sale on this book, once a year or whatever. There's a little more fear involved in discounting because you're like, oh, I only have 6 more books to sell. So, but now that I have this large backlist, I literally have a spreadsheet that I share with my PA where all the books are lined up and scheduled out up to 3 titles per month all year long. And then it's a once a year sale, and it's
That's
like,
amazing.
hey, if you were waiting to read this, this is the only week this entire year, this book will be 99 cents. And, because we have the Excel spreadsheet, we can keep track, be true to that once a year moniker.
I love that you're employing a time-tested marketing method, which is scarcity, which is this will only be around for so long. But you're right. When you have that many titles and this is the only time this thing is happening, you can honestly project that scarcity.
Yeah. Yeah. And that way people, if they can, even if they're not at that point, if they're only on book 7 and book 15 is on sale, they can grab it. They can, they'll have it for later when it, kind of a thing. So it
I love that.
Seems to be working.
Seems to be working okay. That's good. That's good. Awesome. And folks, you can always answer the question of the week at the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group. Okay, here we go. Top story of the week, getting your act together. If you're like most authors, you came into 2026 vowing to get organized, stay focused, and make this year the best it can be. And now it's February. And you might already be worried that you're already not on top of things. But don't worry, says Written Word Media's Harshini Fernando. Quote, you can get organized without losing your mind or your muse. Let's break down how, end quote. Writing can be hard enough. And that's just one part of the author business. If you're an author in 2026, you're a content creator, email marketer, data analyst, social media manager, and even or especially the owner of your own business. Quote, it's no wonder burnout is so common, says Fernando, but here's the truth. Organization isn't a luxury, it is a survival skill, end quote. By being more organized, you're able to lower stress, make better decisions, have more fun, and even take breaks without everything falling apart. That also means writing more and without burning out. For Fernando, the cornerstone of organization is the weekly brain dump. Quote, creativity thrives in space, not chaos, says the author. One of the simplest, effective tools to create that space is the weekly brain dump. Think of it as your internal decluttering session, end quote. Set aside a few minutes once a week to sit down with a blank page, a digital notes app, or your Neo 2 device if you've got the Alpha Smart age,
Ooh.
breaking it down 90s style, and start dumping everything that's
My
cluttering your
Palm
brain.
Pilot.
I know. My Newton. Do, 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 do. Plot holes, email replies, newsletters, deadlines, and even non-author things like groceries. Don't edit, just dump until you're done, then categorize. Buckets should be simple, like writing, marketing, admin, and personal. Quote, the magic, you go from swirling chaos to a tangible, trackable list. You can now batch, time block, or delegate what needs attention, freeing up brain power for your actual writing. End quote. Being organized doesn't lock you in. It helps you create more sustainable systems that help you write more with less guilt, market with advance notice, and build the author business you've been craving. Trixie, you talked
Yes.
about using a spreadsheet for your promotions.
Yeah.
That obviously implies some level of organization. Do you feel
Mm-hmm.
like what Fernando is talking about with like dumping the thoughts out of the brain every so often and then trying to go from there into what actions you should take? Do you feel like there's some things people could get out of this?
Absolutely. I mean, as you know, my backstory is running film school and
Mm-hmm.
dealing
Mm-hmm.
with lots and lots of really excited, really creative little young filmmakers
Yep.
who can't figure out how to break down a script into scenes and prop lists and
Mm-hmm.
so one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite terms was you have to learn how to be a functional creative because if you can't be a
Ooh.
functional creative you are not going to make money from whatever your endeavor is because
Right.
you can't just throw stuff at a wall. I mean, the occasional person gets lucky, and don't we love those stories? And we hang on to it. And oh, he just did this, and he wrote something on a cocktail napkin, and now he's a billionaire. Cool,
Right.
cool, cool, cool. That's not going to happen for you. Sorry. You have to have a plan, and the brain dump is a great thing for me. The way my brain creates things that need to be dumped, I need to do that every morning. I can't hold a week's
Uh,
worth, or my head would explode. So
mhm.
my routine is get up, drink an inordinate amount of coffee, uh, you know, do social media because I hate to say this, but it kind of doesn't take brain function, to do that part.
Right.
Then I move into okay, what is cluttering, clogging, filling up, whatever, get all of that out, make my list for the day. And then I can get into admin. And then for me, I have to have all that cleared out of my brain before I can do my writing session in the afternoon. A lot of people are like, first thing I got to write, in the morning and then whatever. But for me, I have to clear all of that out to make room for the creativity, to flow. But that's just me.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like for me, I'm like, I need to know that if I have an idea that's important, it goes somewhere where it's going to be safe. And
Yeah.
like you used to work for Best Page Forward a million years ago.
Yep.
And like there were times where you helped me with this where it's like Brian has a crazy idea again.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
put it somewhere so it's safe. And like
Yeah.
now I have like 5 people that I throw my crazy ideas to in different departments, and they
Yeah.
become the keeper of the secrets at that
Yep.
point. And
Yep.
it like that's what helps me a lot, especially like I'm a top 5 communication skill Clifton Strengths
Yeah.
person, so I need to talk it out. When I talk it out, then it needs to go to
Yeah.
somebody, and that
Yeah.
system becomes better and better over time. But not everybody
Yeah.
has the minions. Not everybody
Yeah.
has the people to do that with, and so having your system, whether it's a Palm Pilot, whether it's your a sheet of paper, whether it's Evernote, whether it's
Yeah.
an iPhone notes document, however it is, getting those ideas out is part one, and
Mm-hmm.
then deciding, well, what actions need to be taken to get those ideas to actually work in the real world. And that's
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love love because I think what you did with your film school students authors need to be knowing is you need to be a functional creative. So brilliant. Chef's kiss. amazingness. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
like you said, there's so many different programs for it, but the main thing is have an overall plan for the year,
Hmm.
have the brain dump so that you're getting all that stuff out, but you have to have steps, you have to have milestones, you have to have check-ins. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to publish 3 books this year.
Right.
Check. Like
Right.
I have a 2-page checklist for every book that goes
Hmm.
through my little system.
I
and,
love
and
it.
I've done this 50 times, so it's not just because you did it before doesn't mean you should just run off your brain. Like have the
Hmm.
checklist. You're gonna miss something. You're gonna be going in 3 different directions. Be able to go back and go, oh, I actually didn't order the cover. I'm gonna need that. Like
Yeah.
it's you think you're gonna remember every little thing, but there really are so many steps involved, especially if you want to be organized and have all the promotion and get all of those things in place. You gotta have a plan for it. Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Right. I feel like we answered these hot potato wisdom questions. You said how to
Oh,
keep you keep your
oops.
business organized. No, it's fine. We're just so efficient. I talked about my system that I follow.
Yeah.
Um, I do think that, to the second question, do you have a system you follow or wing it? Like, yes, a plan may change over time,
Yes.
but I think pantsing your marketing plan, unless you're just so good. Like if you're
Yeah.
so good at marketing,
Yeah.
you can kind of like discovery market your book, but
Sure.
I feel like it's so much of a higher percentage chance if you have a
Yeah.
plan, if you have a
And I think
checklist.
those are the kind of quote unquote tips that really leave people frustrated when you
Mhm.
hear from these pantsers who do something one time and it works for them. And you know what? Check back with them 5 years from now because
Yeah.
that one thing might not be working anymore. So
Yeah.
if you have an actual plan and a strategy and you're keeping track and you're doing things the same way every time, you actually have some data to track. So if
Right.
you know that you never launch a book without having the next one up for pre-order and you can always see how many pre-orders are coming and your pre-orders are constantly going up, then you're like, "Oh, look, I have data. You know,
Right.
this works for me." Whatever it is. That's just, one example. But having a system, even if it's simple, it can be a very
Right.
simple system, but having something like that, it gives you rails to run on and it doesn't limit creativity. It
No.
actually helps calm the part of your brain that is constantly trying to edit your creativity and control it. So the more you have that plan in place, the more that little part of your brain can relax and it actually
Yeah.
will help your creativity to not be trying to do both things at once, I
What
don't
you're
know.
saying is what I've always thought is the best explanation to why writing to market is necessary,
Yeah.
because some people say, well, if I know exactly what story I'm going to write, it's not creative. It's like, no, it helps your creativity.
Right.
It, like,
Right.
when the bumpers are up in bowling, does it get you more pins or less pins? Well, it
Hmm.
prevents the gutters, so it
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
lead to more success.
Yeah. Too many people look at writing to market as a limitation
Yeah.
because they don't understand what writing to market is. Writing
Yeah.
to market isn't telling the same story that somebody else told. Writing to market is recognizing the tropes that readers in that genre expect and building those
Yeah.
into your unique story that only you can tell in your voice, your way, with your unique characters. It's
Yeah.
there's no limit to it at all, but it
Yeah.
guarantees that you're going to deliver something that readers will want to read.
Mm.
Like genre mashups and all these things that people think are so cool and unique. And I'm gonna go outside the box. Cool. Outside the box are less readers. So
Yeah.
if your goal is to have a business and sell books so that you can keep writing, keep some of it in the box.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just a few of those things that readers are like, oh yeah, that's what I want. That's what I like to read more and more and more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Love it. So, Trixie, we got to do this lightning sound here. We got to get it out of the way
Okay.
here. So,
All right, I'm
so
ready.
the floor is yours for the lightning round.
Oh,
Go for it.
does that mean
Lightning sound.
I did the thing that yeah, I did exactly the thing you told me not to do?
Make a sound. Now.
I have to make a sound?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
That
know
was
lightning
so
sound.
perfect. It's the best one that's ever been done. Okay, so you did great. Um, you talked a little bit about this, but how do you write another series in your universe without your readers just assuming it's more of the same?
Oh, okay. Um, I think the key is understanding what your readers like about the universe, and so that you're able to take those more maybe esoteric aspects forward. If if it's strong female characters, or if it's partnerships, or if it's a certain animal sidekick, or whatever that is, whatever the things are that they are enjoying about the universe, you can move those things forward. It's kind of like the trope thing in writing to market. You can move those things forward in completely different characters. So I think it's about creating unique characters that can exist in a universe that your readers are comfortable with, if
Mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense.
Okay.
Great. Great answer. You win. 10 more
Woo!
points.
All right.
Yeah, you're crushing it. You're crushing it. No one's ever gotten points, so you definitely are winning.
Dang.
I know.
Nice.
I know. You've got a question for me. Second question here in this lightning round.
All right. How do you balance giving readers more of what they want without getting bored out of your mind?
I think this is something that people always worry about,
Mm-hmm.
is that they're going to be bored. And
Yeah.
it's tough if you are, look, I'm a person who likes new things, who likes creativity for
Yes.
sure. But I'm kind of coming back to something I used to do in high school. And in high
Oh,
school, I would try to think of something in every period of my day, every school period, but every before and after. I was like, I would look forward to something I could look forward to. And I
yeah.
think you could absolutely do the same with a scene. You could absolutely do the same with a character. You could absolutely do the same with a certain setting. Like, find one thing in this chapter, in this book, in this whatever that you look forward to. Because
Yeah.
whenever we dread a thing, that's when we hold back, and our
Mm.
readers can feel it.
Yeah.
The readers
Agreed.
can feel it if we do.
Yeah.
And so I just try to find some joy. Just try to find a little bit of joy in what you're working on, rather than feeling like this is the worst. I can't
Yeah.
believe I have to do this again. No, you get to do this again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, but to this point, Trixie,
Mm.
when is it time to wrap up or pause a series?
Well, I think a couple things, and I think really reader interest maybe is the most important thing. So
Yeah.
if you are, launching books via pre-order or whatever, and you see as you're coming out with, book 37 in that series, pre-orders are dropping. They're not continuing to go up as they were with the first 20 books or whatever.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's time to bring that one to an end and try something different. So there's that practical side of it. But also, um, in the character arc, there might be an indication. So for me, I wrote a
Mm.
long running series, The Mitzi Moon Mysteries, and I decided to wrap that up and move into a spin-off series, because and spoiler alert for folks, if you don't want to hear this, mute for just a minute. um, when it's time for the characters to get married, I thought that would be a good way to end the series there with their engagement. So that is like a character arc
Yeah.
pause, basically.
Right. 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 It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I think, you know, you marry him off or you kill him, one way or the other.
Yeah, right.
um.
Yeah, and I thought they had
Awesome.
more juice, so I wanted, I still wanted to
Yeah.
write more, but it was moving into a different kind of relationship, different kind of partnership, and it just felt like it doesn't fit with the series. It needs to be, this
Yeah.
new thing, this spin-off. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes total sense. Makes total sense. All right, you got a question for me.
Yes. What is the best way to test the waters on a new series idea without a full series commitment?
Let's like really boil this down. Let's
Okay.
like really, really boil this down.
All right.
Uh, because you did this.
Oh yeah.
You had a blurb for Mitzi Moon 1 and you sent it to me and I looked at it. I was like, send it to Claire. And Claire took a look at it and
Yeah.
said, make some changes. And it's
Yeah.
like, I think you
Yeah.
can start with as little as a blurb, as an
Yeah.
outline, as a even just like a pitch. And this is something I'm talking about in the new course I just launched. Like, write down what you think the tropes are, what you think the
Yeah.
required scenes are, what you think the character archetypes are. And then you give it to someone who knows what they're doing and have them look at it and be like, nah, I don't think the main character should get eaten in the first book of this Paracosi series. I just don't.
It's a
And
it's a little not Paracosi. Yeah.
so it's like, or like, I don't think this romance should end in the male dying and the female
Yeah.
is left alone. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so like, give some details to
Mm-hmm.
another human being or another couple human beings that are not yes men, not yes women, that they will tell you what is true in the
Yeah.
world. Have them look at it and then say, okay, great. I've created this pitch. You can write that book once you've gotten the feedback. You write the
Mm-hmm.
book, and then you don't have to write the second book of that right away. You could write another pitch. You could write another book one. You like,
Yeah.
just because people have written these 20 book series and amazing series, like it wasn't their first series. Yours wasn't your first series.
Right.
Claire's wasn't her first series that took off. Like,
Yeah.
you are allowed to try multiple things before you lock yourself in for 5
Yeah.
books. Like
Yeah.
that I think the best way to test the waters on a new series idea is show people the idea, and then you can go out and try different ideas and see what actually hits.
Yeah. 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 You don't have to lock yourself into one lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
pen names are for.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, Trixie, you've done so many great box sets for your series. You have like
Yeah.
the 1 through 3 and the 4 through 6, and then you just like have them
Yeah.
throughout these many book series. Like, what's your strategy there? Like, when does it make sense to be like, I need this number of books in a series before I put out the box set? Like, what has worked for you?
Well, that series, I had a particular rhythm with the books. So every third book was not a murder. So when I had about 10 or 12 books out, I thought, now is probably a good time to start doing a box set type thing. And it made sense to group them into three because of the
Yeah.
the way I had been doing that one. So
Right.
that particular one just, kind of made sense that way. I just did the first box set in another one of my series, which has 8 books, including the prequel. So I thought, well, 4, then I'll do, 4 in set. That makes sense, kind of a thing. So I think it just depends on how many books you have overall. Are you done with the series? Are you still writing in the series? Do you have a target number of books? Or are you going to keep
Mm,
writing, forever? Do you know there's going to be 10 books? Do you know there's going to be 25? Whatever. And I think that'll kind of help because it kind of makes sense when you're doing box sets to put them in a reasonably similar grouping. So
right.
if you have 25 books in the series, don't do a box set of 6 and a 4 and 7. People like the symmetry, right? I
Yeah.
think it works for them better. So then 5 sets of 5, whatever. I think that kind of it looks good on a series page when they're all the same size. Just weird things
Yeah.
like that are subconscious for people when they're shopping visually.
That totally makes sense. Great answer. 15 more points. And
Woo!
so
Yes.
you're
All
really
right.
crushing it. We need to come up with a question of the week here. It could really be about anything. It could be about this author organization thing. It could be
Mm-hmm.
about writing in series. It could be about writing to market. It could be about whatever. Trixie, is there a particular direction or a particular question you'd want to ask. If even you came up with a little idea, I'll flesh it out. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I don't know. I like the organization angle. I think people push that away because they feel like it
Stifles.
stifles them somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think it would be interesting to explore what steps you could take toward organization that would support your creativity or something like that.
I like this. I like this. Our organization would actually support your
Yeah.
creativity. So what? Oh, we'll call it. What is the first step you
Yes.
think you can take toward organization that would actually support your creativity? Great question. You guys can answer the question of the week over at sellmorebookshow.com or in the comments section for the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group. Go read Trixie Silvertale's books at trixiesilvertale.com. Trixie, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you bet.
Awesome. And you'll be back here next week by the magic of podcasting.
Ooh, wow,
I
very
know.
exciting.
It's so cool. It's so cool. Or in the future.
In the
Well,
future.
I know, it's wild. For Trixie, I'm Brian. I hope all of you have a great week of book selling, and we'll talk to you next week for episode 618. Bye.